Ladies and gentlemen, next plays Blair Herter.
Yes.
Thank you. Zorbit,
Stop it. Stop it.
No.
Thank you.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
E3 is almost upon us. There are a lot of expectations, of course, for both the Sony and Nintendo press conferences. I think those are going to be the big ones. Let's start with Sony. Kind of a huge elephant in the room here, which, oddly enough, the elephant has my driver's license ID and my credit card number. The April PSN hack is sort of a big deal here.
Sure.
Do you think they'll address it, or will they just pretend it didn't happen and, hey, everything's fine now, everything's cool?
Well, I think even if they're not planning on addressing it, you know, the press conference, which of course we're airing live, the great and powerful Adam Sessler is covering that, and there's no way he's going to let them get away without talking.
Do you think they're going to just cut to a slide of sales and Adam's going to be like, what about the ID theft?
Yeah, so not only are they going to address it, I think they're definitely going to make, this will be the first time they actually go out on TV, they're going to make like a heartfelt apology, I think. Also tell people what they can do in the future to not only protect themselves more, but you know how they're going to pay people back. But more importantly, I think what they really need to focus on is how do they make people feel safe about this.
Right.
And honestly, we've been speculating a lot in the office, and I just don't, personally, I don't know what they're going to do to convince people that it's going to be safe in the future.
What if they gave you a new puppy?
Oh, God, that would be awesome. Yeah.
There you go. It's a lab. There you go.
That would work.
You're back on PSN.
Yeah.
It's a lot of puppies. That's not happening.
Until they hack my puppy.
Yes, exactly.
Wait a minute.
It was an IBO. Yeah. Infamous 2 is coming out next week as well. Now, why would Sony choose to release a title the same week as E3 as opposed to hyping it up a little bit there?
Sure. Well, first of all, you know, part of the kind of make good for the PSN hack was getting Infamous for free.
Right, you got the free downloadable game. Yeah.
And I went back and played it myself. I forgot how great it was. So I think, you know, it's kind of, people are excited about Infamous too, so it's probably, it has something to do with that.
Okay.
And what I really think they're releasing this exclusive the week of, because I think they're going to focus on what I wanted to talk about next, which is the NGP, or, you know, PS Vita.
The PS Vita,
is what it's,
if you believe the code name.
Yeah, which is what it's rumored to be called, because last year, that is what they made a big deal about, is the NGP. Now, what we've seen is that Nintendo can release another handheld system. It sells 1 trillion copies. Obviously, there's still market space available out there. People are still excited about handhelds. So I think what we're going to see this year, not so much exclusive titles from Sony, but a lot of NGP stuff.
Will those be exclusive titles, or are these going to be rehashes of old PS2 games and ports of PS3 games?
I think we're going to see a lot of that.
Yeah.
But what I think that we're also going to see, our software is software that's developed for that portable. And outside of that, I think they're going to show a way that people can use this to make it more connected, to make their kind of online experience a little more connected. Bringing gaming on the go is what they've been promising, and I think that they're really going to showcase that there.
It's an interesting point with referencing Nintendo, because when they release a handheld, granted the 3DS was a little pricier than handhelds in the past, but they release a handheld, it's more of a budget price device, and even in this smartphone, cell phone world where they say, well, that's where mobile gaming is, they still sell like hotcakes.
Yeah.
If Sony comes out and this NGP or the PS Vita Vegavitamin is $500, will it survive at that price point, or does it have to come in at $3 or less?
Well, people have been saying, you know, well, look at the PS3. It was $600 when it launched, and now nobody bought it, but now people are buying it. The reason people are buying the PS3 is because Blu-ray won the format war, and that's why people started buying the PS3 that didn't already own one. I think because there's no format kind of problems here, they're going to have to come in at a low price point. Otherwise, people are going to say, again, I own a Nintendo, a Game Boy Advance, a Game Boy Color, a DS, a 3DS, a DS XL, Lite, whatever. Like, I don't need another one. So I think it has to be accessible, and it has to offer something different. And I think that online connectivity is what could separate this from all of Nintendo's handhelds.
How ironic that online connectivity could save Sony on this one. All right, what about Nintendo's Project Cafe, their next generation console? Do we know anything about it?
Sure. Well, my favorite thing is that it's rumored to either have an 8 gigabyte or a 320 gigabyte hard drive. So
it's either it could be powered by a hamster on a wheel or powered by a jet engine. We don't know.
We don't know yet. Well, we do know it's definitely going to have high definition graphics, or as close to what the norm is at this point.
Will it be like the successor to a GameCube, or will it be a successor to the Wii?
Everything that we're hearing is pointing towards it being the successor, the true spiritual successor to the GameCube.
Okay.
The Wii was kind of an experiment in how people play games. I think that this Project Cafe, or whatever they're going to call it, will be again, kind of Nintendo's true successor to their last console.
I will say, like, it's odd. Like, I'm oddly excited for this announcement.
Absolutely.
Because like the Wii may have become whatever the Wii is today, but when that thing was first announced and when it first came out, everybody had one. It was the talk of the town, and it was a lot of fun. Do you think this new console will be revolutionary, or do you think it might just be another evolution?
I think that it's probably going to be another evolution, but it'll be revolutionary to Nintendo in the sense that I think they're probably going to do online right this time around.
You think so?
And since they have the world's biggest gaming install base, I think that what they can do with their online community, if they do it properly in this console, is going to shape how kind of game makers approach online connectivity in the future.
Now, last year it was all about the 3DS. Really quickly, is Reggie going to have to say something special about the 3DS or announce some titles?
You better show us something that you showed us last year that's playable. Because every game they brought to the Nintendo press conference right after we had them live, they showed all this great stuff. People were excited. We have seen none of those games. And so I think we've got to see we've talked about Kid Icarus, I think the big thing, they're going to have to show Skyward Sword.
Yeah.
I think that's what Reggie has to show. They have to make an announcement about it because if they don't show the game that had everybody talking 12 months ago, then people are going to be really disappointed with their presence this year.
All right. Well, we will be there covering it all regardless.
Absolutely.
25 hours of it. You can watch E3 live on G4 all next week. Again, 45 game demos. Herder will actually be dressed as Princess Toadstool as well.
Yeah, shaving my legs.
Not even required. You just wanted to do it.
No, that's what I do.
Blair Herder, everybody. Thank you so much, sir. Appreciate the discussion.